This is The Pulse. Welcome back to the show. This afternoon, the National Security is beginning a probe into a 50 million Ghana cedi payroll fraud at the Youth Employment Agency. New management of the agency say they discussed the they discovered the rot after an internal audit. Chief Executive Justin Frimpong Kodia has been explaining at a news conference in Accra today.
Payments of unearned allowances to beneficiaries not at post, meaning those who have vacated their posts, amounted to 1,247,300 Ghana cedis. B. Funds meant for official use paid into personal accounts or disbursed in cash amounted to 5,433,261. C. Supporting documents for payments not cited amounted to 1,789,191. D. Procurement without adherence to due process amounted to 85,563 Ghana cedis. E. Discrepancies between data generated from the YEA portal and data obtained from the district offices was also noted. F. Beneficiaries recruited without appointment letters not cited by the Chief Executive Officer, among others. These were the findings or the draft reports from the findings of the Internal Audit Agency.
He says further checks in the districts and regions revealed even more worrying cases of corruption aided by officials of the agency.
2,716 beneficiaries did not have appointment letters, but the agency was paying an amount of 814,800 cedis every month to them. This translates into 3,259,200 Ghana cedis for the 4 months period that we suspended the payroll, i.e. from February to May 2017. We also realized that 9,442 beneficiaries were above the age requirements to be able to be enrolled into the Youth Employment Agency. And this amounts to 2,832,600 Ghana cedis every month. Therefore, in the 4 months that we suspended the payroll, the agency would have paid 11,330,400 Ghana cedis. We also noted that 4,681 beneficiaries have vacated their post. This means the agency was paying 1,404,300 Ghana cedis every month. Therefore, like the others, in 4 months, the agency would have paid 5,617,200 Ghana cedis. We also noted that just as in every office, when you are given an appointment letter, you need to have an assumption of duty letter. But in YEA, however, we realized that 11,512 beneficiaries were without assumption of duty letters. And this amounts to 3,453,600 Ghana cedis per month that we were paying those without assumption of duty letters. And for the 4 months that we suspended the payroll, the amount is 30,814,400 Ghana cedis. We also noted that 14,443 non-existing beneficiaries, meaning they are either ghost names or they have vacated their post.
This afternoon, we have a response from the previous management headed by Ebo Bicham. In the studio is current CEO, acting CEO, Justin Frimpong Kodia, and he'll be telling us more. Good afternoon to you. We're privileged to have you in the studio. Tell us, what informed this probing?
Thank you very much and good afternoon. Basically, when I assumed office ending of May, or ending of February, the first day at office, I was given a payroll which comprised of permanent staff, 799, monitoring and evaluation assistants, 256, and 63,000 beneficiaries. So on my first day at work, the first question was, how will I be in a position to verify all these people? By yesterday, the month has ended and I needed to pay them. So upon consultation with various stakeholders, what's the idea or the suggestion was for us to do an audit or to run an Excel on the soft copy of the beneficiary payroll, the 63,000 that has been given to us. Upon running a simple Excel on it, one thing that we realized was that there were duplicate names in the 63,000. And that prompted me to really look at it again. How can a payroll have duplications in it? So therefore, if we have not run the Excel, certainly we would have gone ahead to pay those duplicates name. So we took the names out. And as at that time too, I realized that, of course, I must give credit to the old administration for that they had conducted their own monitoring and evaluation exercise, of which we were able to uncover certain people who had vacated posts by yesterday. Their name was in the system. And we beefed it up to ask the district directors and regions to furnish us with names of those who have vacated posts. And that amounted to 2,999 beneficiaries. So that figure alone came to an amount of 4,270,800 Ghana cedis. That was with the 2,999. So as an administration, what we decided to do was to commission the internal audit agency to do an audit of our control system, particularly the beneficiary payroll, so as to ascertain what really the problems is. And because initially the budget that was presented to us by the audit, internal audit agency, realized that we could not be able to do the whole country. So we limited them to 45 districts across the country. And based on their draft report, we decided to do a full-scale audit at the 216 districts. So if you may want,
okay, so let's get the breakdown of the
findings of the draft report. They stated that payments of an on-earned allowance to beneficiaries not at post, meaning people who have vacated their post and are no more working for YEA, but they are still drawing allowance from YEA out from the 45 districts alone, amounted to 1,247,300. They also said that funds meant for official use paid into personal accounts or dispersed in cash. That is, in establishments where we have to embark on activities at the regional or district level, monies that are supposed to be paid into the district account or regional account were not done, but were paid to individual accounts, which also amounted to 5,433,216. Also, the findings also uncovered that an amount of 1,789,191 were payments that were made, but there were no supporting documents to justify those payments. Also, they also stated that there was no adherence in terms of procurement of certain items which were bought, and that amount is 85,563 Ghana cedis. And they also realized that there was discrepancies between data generated from the YEA system, that is our portal, which has the list of beneficiaries in the soft copy or in the IT system, and the data obtained from the district offices. So therefore, what we have in our system is different from when you go to district offices, the list, there were variance in it. And also, they also stated that some beneficiaries recruited did not have appointment letters. And also some appointment letters were not signed by the chief executive officers, among other things. So in pursuant to these draft findings or report from the internal audit agency, management decided to conduct a physical verification exercise, what we popularly call head count, of the 216 districts. So when we had a benchmark, the thing that we were going to look for: one, we're going to look for letters of appointment. Two, we're going to look for assumption of duty letters. Three, we're going to look for confirmation letters of where you are working. Four, any national ID, which talks about, which states your age. Those were the criteria that we set out in the districts. And per the findings from the 216 districts, this is what we uncovered. 2,716 beneficiaries did not have appointment letters, and the agency was paying them an amount of 814,800 Ghana cedis every month. So if we have not suspended payment for 4 months and we have gone ahead to pay from February to May 2017, we would have been paying them 3,259,200 Ghana cedis. Then we realized that there were 9,442 beneficiaries who were above the age requirement. By law, to be able to qualify as a beneficiary in YEA, you must be 35 or below. But I realized that some people were above that. And those people who are above the legal requirement, amount of money that the agency was paying was 2,832,600 every month. So therefore, if for the 4 months, if you have decided not to suspend it, we would have been paying 11,330,400 Ghana cedis. Then you come to those whom, when we went, were not opposed. For this, there is a caveat. It could be that people have indeed vacated their post, or also it could be that when we went there, maybe they didn't get to hear the message, or two, maybe for some other reason, maybe they were sick and they couldn't come. But those people amounted to 4,681. Then we come to those without assumption of duty letters. Basically, when you are given an appointment letter, you have to give acceptance and indicate assumption of duty. Yes, indeed, you have started work. Yeah. We realized that 11,512 beneficiaries did not have assumption of duty letters. And this, in a month, we are paying them 3,453,600. So if in the same vein, if in the 4 months, you have decided or proceeded to pay them, we would have been paying 30,814,400 Ghana cedis. Okay.
So who supervised these deals?
I think, first of all, we must admit that there was a system failure. Okay. That is one. And two, certain people deliberately decided to take advantage of the system failure to do certain malpractices. And the exercise gave us several revelations, because there was this man at Suhum who, when we asked to bring letters of appointment, yes, he brought, and we asked him where was he working. He was looking at us, and he told in local language, "Bo, me dem tife na se membra na bo se me ombejo mma miska."
So if you say certain people took advantage, which people are you talking about?
Some of our district directors, and to some extent our regional directors, and even those at the head office, because certainly it works in the process. For instance, if one wants to be enrolled into the beneficiary model, first you must apply online. Then once you apply online, you are shortlisted. You get a YEA number. Then if you are shortlisted, you are asked to do an e-switch card to ensure payment. But the problems or the lacuna at that point was that after the shortlisting and giving someone e-switch card, payment started. So therefore, it meant that certain people were receiving salaries or receiving allowance without having appointment letters. And also certain people was also receiving salary without having assumption of duty letters. So all this engineered people to circumvent the process. And also people assure, some of the directors assure some of the beneficiaries, oh, don't worry, you go and work. Certainly we work out an appointment letter for you. And they were waiting and no appointment letters were come. So it was when we went there that these people also came out to tell us what really was happening.
Under whose watch did this happen?
To be honest with you, is per experiences from National Youth Employment Program towards JIDA, then the Youth Employment Agency Act, which came in 2015. I must say that we started the models last year for May. So whoever was in charge from that time, from May to when I took over, maybe has certain things to answer.
Is the former director, Mr. Bicham, complicit in this?
Certainly, I cannot sit here and say yes. And I cannot sit here and say also no either. Because at the end of the day, the thing that we uncovered could have been done at his blind side. And I can show you something. You know, there is this letter here. I want you to look at it. You know, it says Monday, May 15th, 2017. That was the day that it was printed, right? And it says that you have been selected as a beneficiary of the Youth in Prison Service, right? Take note, look, it has my signature. But I have never issued any appointment of this nature.
Okay, so if you say yes, and if you say no and yes, to what extent would you say yes, and to what extent would you say no?
The extent will be until proven otherwise. You know, we have what we call ultimate responsibility, right? For instance, I am the CEO at Youth Employment Agency. It could be that certain things might have happened under my watch, which I didn't detect. But as a CEO, certainly, I take the ultimate responsibility. For other matters, as to whether it was deliberate, for that one, I'm not in a position to say yes or no. That's why the no will come in. But the yes, because of the ultimate responsibility issue.
Okay. Have you engaged the former management team?
Yes, I talked to him. We are on good terms. I talked to him, and I told him, like, are you aware of this? Like, some people, even as at the time I took office or took over office, like that's in ending of February, even as far back or even as early as March, there were some people who were issuing appointment letters in your name when you were not there. He was surprised that how come it happened, and he believed that the system and the processes at YEA, this thing should have happened. So, well, based on what he said, genuinely you can tell that, well, maybe he's not aware or it happened at the blind side of him.
But earlier you said the previous management had started something when you came in.
Yes.
It means that it had come to their notice.
That's why I said, you know, I think it's a system failure. And the system failure allows certain people to take advantage of certain things. And that's why I acknowledge that when I came, I realized that they went around to do some monetary evaluation and they had certain figures, right? That alone should have informed them about the possibility of other routes elsewhere. So when I came on, I looked at it and decided to go a step further. So from last year, May, imagine if this exercise has been done earlier or it has been done periodically, most of these things would have been detected.
So what will happen to these people? Certainly this is a criminal offense. Have you reported it to the security agencies?
Yes, even before we, when I say we, the management assumed office, IOCO had interdicted some 1 or 2 of our staff, and they were doing an investigation on them. So the evidence of what we have also uncovered, yes, indeed, we are going to give the appropriate quarters for the necessary actions to be taken. Because certainly, if I have not signed a signature to this appointment letter, obviously it must be someone who did it. So what we are doing, we are starting an investigation to find out who actually did this.
Okay.
And those people who are found culpable, I can tell you.
And what does this letter entail?
This is a letter of engagement, appointment letter, purportedly to be issued by me, when I have not even issued any appointment letter to anybody.
And have you brought this to the attention of Mr. Bicham, because probably it started from his administration?
Yes, and I even showed one that was signed, purportedly signed by him when he was not in office. He was surprised
to see it,
and he felt that it couldn't have happened. Yeah, but evidence is here. I've showed you that it has happened. So the benefit of the doubt at the same time, you can say maybe it happened at his blind side, but it is something that really happened, which anyone who is responsible for all these malpractices will be dealt with within the remit of the law.
Who is in charge of the matter now?
National security are also looking into the matter. And as management, we are also investigating it and assisting the national security to come to the bottom of these issues. And as part of a mechanism to prevent future occurrences, we realized that payments were effected without passing through internal audit. Even I believe here, when accounts prepare something, there's someone here to verify, to make sure that all the things are in order. So we have also put a controls mechanism in consultation with our Mother Ministry, Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations, that before we make payment to beneficiaries, it must pass through audit. And even before payments are also made, there must be verification to ascertain that yes, indeed, this person is duly in the right position for us to pay him. Then also, we realized that the problem that we have in the agency is that some offices are overstaffed. Some offices are also understaffed. Some offices need more hands to help them to be able to function properly. So as part of the restructuring to curtail all these problems, management has started embarking on staff movement, what you refer to as transfer, so that in areas that we have understaffed people, we have people to augment it so that they can perform their functions effectively.
But one interesting thing I heard you talk about is the ones who did not have assumption of duty letters, but did they work for their salaries?
There are two scenarios, right? People may have appointment letters, right? But without assumption of duty letters, legally you are not qualified to work, right? Because you have to indicate, you have to have letter of acceptance that indeed, one, you have accepted the appointment, and two, you must report that on this day I started work. So if there's nothing on you to show when you started work, then on what basis do we pay you? It's something that is mind-boggling. But also looking at it, we also want to add the human face to it. Right? We realize that the assumption of duty letters is supposed to be presented by a beneficiary to the district director. So let's say that the beneficiary from one way or the other did not send the assumption of duty letter to the district director. It was the responsibility of the district director to make sure that the beneficiary brings the assumption of duty letter.
You talked about district directors channeling monies into individual pockets when in fact it shouldn't be going there. What will happen to these people? And in the interim, what has happened to them? Have they been asked to go home or they are still at post?
In the interim, management has set up an investigating committee. And as a lawyer, of course, I do believe in the audio pattern rule, that you must hear the other side. So first of all, we are inviting them starting from next week Monday to come and explain themselves about all these things that has happened. And based on it, the appropriate decisions will be taken on them. But we must follow the right process and due process, which the labor law and other relevant laws also talk about.
Are they treating this matter as a criminal act? Because indeed it is.
Yes, certainly. Because based on the investigation that is coming up and the recommendation by the committee, what has to be referred to Attorney General or what has to be referred to the security agencies will indeed be referred to. As you sit here, there are certain things that even on the face of it, nobody needs to tell you that this is really a crime. But as I said, for administrative purposes and procedure, we want to follow through the channel. We don't want to rush. We want to take our time and make sure that the law takes its due course.
So what would happen to the people, for instance, those who do not have assumption of duty letters? Are they going home? And those whose appointment letters were not signed, and those who started work without appointment letters, all of them, what will happen to them?
When you talk about those without appointment letters, and when you talk about those who are above the age requirement, and when you talk about beneficiaries who have vacated their post, which there are ample evidence for them, their names have already been deleted from our system. they are off. There's nothing that can be done to remedy the situation. But with respect to those without assumption of duty letters and non-existing beneficiary, meaning those who could, when we went around, they were not there, management has given ourselves 1 month for anybody who is in these two categories to come out and provide the relevant documents for us to look at it. Yes, without the assumption of duty letters, we need to go further. It could be that it was not through your own fault, maybe for administrative lapses. We need to verify from where you are supposed to work, that indeed, when you do start work, indeed, are you working or you are not working, before we can put you back on the payroll.
Okay, so let's look at the this kind of rot in that system. We know it has happened over the years. And indeed, you mentioned one gentleman who said, did you ask this gentleman who actually made the call to him and asked him to come and do the job? That will make your investigations easier.
And that's all the things that we have done. It's part of the case that
exactly which name did he mention? Who did he point at?
Certainly, it won't be fair to say it here until we come to a conclusive point.
But you can give us a fair idea of who made that call.
But I even said in Suhum.
So it was in Suhum. So the director.
I haven't said director, you are saying it, but I say in the area. So it could be director, it could be a regional director, it could be someone, or anybody, even from Accra, head office. Because it's possible with our current system for someone in head office to ask someone to work without appointment letter and the person will be on a payroll. It's possible. So there are 3 stages that we have to look at: the district, the regional, and head office, and find out who really asked the man to work, of which I know, but I'm not in a position to tell you now.
How would you explain to people who feel this is just witch hunting?
The facts are there, the figures are there. The first question is, was there any monitoring and evaluation exercise? The answer is yes. Were people called to be verified? The answer is yes. Were district directors part of it? Were they involved? Were they consulted? The answer is yes. So therefore, there are evidence that the thing that we are talking about, we are not just conjecturing anything. These are things that happened when we went on the ground to find out whether indeed people are working or whether indeed people do look qualified to work for the YEA.
So will the previous director also be subjected to some scrutiny by the security services?
That would mean that we are personalizing things. Right.
But it was under his watch, so he should answer some questions.
For instance, under my watch, so there could be other problems.
So you would have to answer some questions. Of course, that will all bear the ultimate responsibility. I think that as an agency, we all agree that it's a public service agency, and it's our goal that we should move to a level whereby we ensure efficiency and value for money. So at any point in time, there should be a systematic progression that so that we will block loopholes and make sure that we have a resolute public service agency which has a strong control system mechanism to avoid all these anomalies. So to me, I'm not too keen about personalizing things. I'm not too keen about scoring political points or anything. What it remains my number 1 priority is for us to have an effective youth employment agency which will be running on its mandate as by law required. So for now, which people are the national security targeting?
All those who, through their acts or omissions, commissions and wherever they did, which resulted in this thing, people who deliberately decided to circumvent the process and also to commit malpractices within the agency.
Do you know them?
Do you want me to tell you?
Yes, I'm interested.
I won't tell you. It's definitely once we are able to establish, like I said, a concrete evidence and proof. Then when we are referring the matter to the right quarters, then certainly the media will be given the names of those who we are going to prosecute, because it's become a matter of national interest, and therefore all these names will be made public to everyone.
All right. Many thanks to you for updating us on what is happening. And you heard the acting CEO of the Youth Employment Agency, and he says that investigation is ongoing. Once investigation is done and the culprits are found, they will be publicized for the public to know who was involved.